Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Building Championship Mindsets, the podcast. This is your host, Dr. Amber Selking, where we are in season 12, entitled A Decade of Greatness. In this season, we are going to be celebrating the first 10 years of the Selking Performance Group. I cannot believe it, but in September of 2022, we have officially celebrated 10 years as an organization. And if you've listened to this podcast before, you know that our main mission at Selking Performance is to help individuals, teams, and organizations really understand and leverage the power of mindset and leadership to unleash performance excellence. And so we've had the honor and the privilege of joining individuals, teams, and organizations over the last 10 years to do exactly that. And so upon reflection of where we've been and the incredible opportunities and people that we've met along the way, I wanted to take this season to really honor that journey, to honor those people that we've interacted with, but also to reflect on why. Why has it gone the way that it has? What were some of the critical drivers to success along the last 10 years? Now, we still have a long way to go. We have a lot of people to serve. We have a lot of things left to build together. But I think that a critical part in high performance excellence is reflection, is knowing why are things working? How can we replicate that? How can we enjoy this journey and process it along the way? And so that's what this season is going to be about. Really sharing the critical success drivers, again, over the last 10 years that I believe have been crucial to us growing as an organization, to serving different people, different types of organizations in different parts of the country and the world. And then hopefully challenge each of us to think about how are we tapping into those drivers for our own individual lives, for our team's world, for our organization, and how might we leverage those to take our next step on our high performance journey. So quick recap, a lot has gone on since season 11, which ended just a few months ago. So a quick little life update, I guess, on where we've been. We are currently have the honor of working with LSU football as their mental performance coach and consultant. I've been with Notre Dame football for the last 5 years. It was an incredible journey during the winningest 5 years in the history of Notre Dame football. And as many of you know, there was a coaching transition that occurred. And so through that transition, unfortunately, it was no longer a part of the program anymore. But now we're getting to see how can we apply mindset and leadership and culture development in an SEC environment. And so it's been an incredible couple months with that team and that organization, and really looking forward to growing with those young men and coaches and influencers in that staff. Also have the opportunity to be working with an NFL team. So taking these concepts and principles to the pro level and really seeing, had the opportunity to spend training camp with one of the organizations and looking forward again to how does this apply at that level? And also continuing to serve with Notre Dame softball, an incredible staff group of young women. So those are the sports teams that we're dedicated with, along with several individual hockey players, equestrians, lumberjacks, lumberjills. We've gotten into all different kind of sports. We've had a couple esport clients that we've worked with. So just across the board, I think it's important for us to all recognize that it doesn't matter what sport you're a part of, is that mental performance applies. How do you use the most important and powerful gift that we've all been given to take steps in our journey? And it's not just sports, right? I'm continuing to work and serve at Lippert along our journey of making business a force for good in the world. So thinking as a global manufacturing corporation, how do we take leadership and culture and bring it to life on a day-to-day basis in a big company like that, while also serving, several different financial type institution and speaking for different types of organizations, from the beauty and healthcare space to manufacturing to tech industry to the financial space of how do we leverage human potential inside of our organization by tapping into, again, the power of mindset and leadership. So it's been just a thrilling journey over the last couple months here. So we're a little bit later than usual launching our fall season of the podcast. But as many of you, as you can hear, we've got a lot going on in a lot of different places. And our team at Selking Performance continues to grow. We have a team of amazing performance coaches who are helping bring this to life at different levels and layers. And so again, if there's any way that we can serve you through keynote speaking, through one-on-one performance coaching, through workshop style with your team on tapping into the power of mindset and leadership, please let us know. You can reach out to me directly to talk through those things, Dr. Selking at selkingperformance.com. And again, we'd love to come alongside of you on that journey, because that's what we believe our world needs now more than ever, is teams and organizations that understand the importance of creating a system where human beings can thrive, but then also making sure that those people inside of the system know how to think right and how to show up as the best versions of themselves in the pursuit of a mission worth chasing, whatever that might be for your organization. And so, those are the things that we've really been investing in. One more exciting thing that we've been working on the last several months is the Purpose Summit experience. So if you tuned into last season, you heard about the Purpose Summit, which was a global leadership conference that the Lippert Academy of Leadership and our partners at Purpose Point hosted on campus at the University of Notre Dame. We brought in several different keynote speakers, and we had almost 500 C-suite and executive level leaders at this conference, really talking about how do we make business a force for good in the world? Because again, we see there's a need in our world right now. And we really had this challenging conversation with leaders on how to leverage their business to change people's lives, to change the fabric of their communities. And so we actually have turned that summit into a movie experience, which is live in theaters today that you can go watch. We're in 1,700 movie theaters across the country. So I'm officially a producer of a movie, which is pretty cool. And with my cohorts, Davin Salvagno and Kurt, incredible group that we've worked with to bring that to life. But if that's something that you're interested in to go watch by yourself, to maybe take your team to, go to a movie theater. It's a 2-hour experience that we've condensed that has a guide, a question guide to move you through the different speakers that we had and help grow you as a leader of your team or your organization. So lots of fun and diverse things going on in our world. And again, the last 10 years of where we've been at Selking Performance have laid the foundation to be doing these types of things. I'm a big believer in John Maxwell, and I remember going to see him speak at one point, and he told a story about, a kid came up to him, a young kid, and he was like, John, I want to be just like you. I want to speak to hundreds and thousands of people and, change the world. And how do I do that? Like, what do I need to do right now so that I can do that now? And he sort of smiled and said, like, I want you to be able to do that. But the better question is, what are you willing to do to get to that point? Because I didn't start speaking to hundreds of thousands of people. I didn't start writing 70 books. I started speaking to small groups. I started, taking notes and reflecting and jotting things down. And eventually those audiences grew and those manuscripts grew from, notes into a book, into 2 books, into now 70 plus books that he served the world. And so all these things that I feel like I'm celebrating with you right now, I want to take note that it didn't just happen overnight. It's been this 10-year journey of intentional cultivation through Selking Performance Group. But even years prior to that, of sort of the stirring in my heart and the formulation of what it is I really wanted to do and to bring the world. And now to have a team to be on this journey with is invigorating. And so my hope is that together, again, through season 12, we can reflect on what are some of those drivers over the last 10 years that have been critical to drive what we're doing today, to celebrate what we're doing today, but to also challenge myself and us together of, okay, well then how do we go even deeper and be even more intentional for what the next 10 years is going to bring? Because while it's exciting, all the things that we got to talk about today, there's more to come. There's more greatness to be made. There's more lives to change, more businesses and teams to infuse with a sense of purpose and passion and performance for how we operate. And that's what I hope that together we get to explore through this season. So every week, I'll introduce a different driver that has been critical to this decade of greatness at Selking Performance. I'll give a little overview of it, and then I'll give a story or example of how that has really contributed to this performance journey that we've been on as an organization. And then I'm also going to link it back to my book. So that was another fun thing that we've been working on over the last several months. My book called Winning the Mental Game, the Playbook for Building Championship Mindsets, officially launched in April of 2022. And thanks to all of you, we have officially sold out of the first print of that, which is several thousand copies. And we are in a reprint right now, which is set to come out mid-October 2022. And so those will be back on Amazon shelves and available for your organization to purchase if you'd like. But I want to be able to link some of this stuff to that mental performance playbook so we can start to see the connection between how we think about drivers of organizational success and how individual mental performance and winning your individual mental game can actually help drive that combined journey of high performance excellence, right? Because ultimately, that's my philosophy on high performance is it's got to be top down, bottom up, and contextually relevant. So top down, what are those organizational drivers that we put in place? Bottom up, how do we think right? And then contextually relevant. Is it for a football team, a softball team, an organization, a manufacturing company, or a financial institution, right? It's got to be contextualized to that business. And so try to put some of these pieces together as you journey on your own individual and organizational performance journey. So each session, again, we'll talk about the driver, do an overview, give that example, link it back to the book. And then per usual, we will wind up with some championship mindset training. So again, we know that the brain is not a muscle in the scientific sense, but it functions like a muscle in the extent that the parts of it that we use grow and get stronger. And I want each of us to be intentionally building championship mindsets, championship ways of thinking about how we lead ourselves, our team, our organizations, our communities in meaningful ways. And so we'll wrap up with some things that you can actually do to build those mindsets for yourself. So although we didn't specifically tap into a driver of success for Selking Performance over the last several years, I guess the one that we've really been talking through today has been reflection, right? Taking that time to think through what is really working for us and how can we celebrate those things, but then continue to cultivate them. And so your championship mindset training for this week is to press pause and then reflect back on the last 10 years of your journey. And listen, the reality of it is you might have been in several different places over the last 10 years or done a lot of different things over the last 10 years. For some of you, you might have been embedded and really locked into one thing or one aspect of life for the last 10 years. Wherever you've been on your journey, I want you to press pause, step back and look. What are some of the things in the last 10 years of my life that have been critical success drivers, personally or professionally? And perhaps some of those are actually connected. Think through those things. Jot down a list. See if you can find 10, because that's what we're going to work through together through this season, is 10 drivers that have driven how we've operated and the journey that we've been on here at Selking Performance Group over the last decade or the last 10 years that we've been pursuing greatness and trying to impact the world by building championship mindsets. Thank you so much for tuning in. I cannot wait to be on this journey with you through season 12 as we continue again to learn, to grow together, and to continue to bring our goodness and greatness to the world. If there's anything I can do for you, again, you can reach out to me directly, Dr. Selking at selkingperformance.com, keynotes, one-on-one performance coaching. But check out our website too. We've got a lot of free material on there, selkingperformance.com. You can also find our book there. We got a couple books. We got 2 children's books, and then the Winning the Mental Game, the playbook for building championship mindsets that you can find there as well. And then if you would rate and review us on iTunes, that's helpful for our sponsors as they want to continue to join us on this journey. And if there's anything, again, that we can do to serve you or your company would like to join us on this journey, just reach out and we can do this. Follow us on all the social media platforms. We're on Twitter at Champ Mindsets, on Facebook at Selking Performance Group, and on Instagram at Champ Mindsets as well. Thank you so much. You've been listening to Building Championship Mindsets, the podcast. This is your host, Dr. Amber Selking, and from the locker room to the boardroom, I just want to challenge you to continue building your championship mindset.